Welcome. The topic we will be discussing in this lecture is array ADT, that is abstract data type. So in the last class we have discussed about abstract data type. So in this lecture we will be discussing like how we can define array as an abstract data type, and followed by that we will be discussing implementing two-dimensional arrays using pointer to pointer with dynamic memory allocation. Okay. So these are the two things which we are going to discuss. So first let us discuss array as an abstract data type. So when someone asks us to define what is an array, so generally we say that array is a collection of consecutive memory location. Okay, but that definition is quite misleading, because that definition is in the context of representation. Okay, it is actually how array is represented or implemented in the system. So in that context we say that array is a collection of consecutive memory allocation. Okay, but from data structure perspective, when you define array as an abstract data type, array should be defined something like this. For each array there will be an array consists of set of index and the associated value. Okay. So from abstract data's type point of view, we define arrays like this. Array is a set of index and the associated values. So from a user perspective, actually the user does not bother whether for the array the memory is continuous or discontinuous. It is doesn't matter to the user at all. Okay, only the thing is user, whatever the user wants is, okay, I want to define an array int a of 10. Then he can assign some values. Say if he declare an array int a of 10, then uh, then he will assign the value something like a of 1 is equal to something, a of 5 is equal to something like that. So he access the array contents by using index and the associated value. So if he stores something, a of 2 is equal to say 6, a of 7 is equal to what do you call, a of 7 is equal to 3. Then later he may write that somewhere else he may write that x is equal to a of 7, a of 7 into 2. So it means that he's the actually the user does not bother whether the array contains continuous memory location or discontinuous. It is immaterial to the user. Only thing user bothers is it should be he should be able to access information like this with index and the associated value. To a particular index he may assign a value, or he may want to retrieve the value at a particular index location. Okay, so from abstract data type context, this is how we define array. Array is a set of index and the associated value. So for each index there is associated value with that index. So this is how we define array as an abstract data type. Okay, so this is the array specification. So as we already defined ADT, ADT is the one which separates the object specification from the implementation. It separates the objects and the operations performed on the objects specification from the implementation of the object and the operations performed on it. So this definition is in the context of implementation perspective, whereas this definition is in the context of specification perspective. Okay, so when someone asks what is array ADT, so then it should be defined something like this. Array is a set of index and its associated and the associated value with that particular index, right? Okay, so this is how we define the array. And here we are specifying an array ADT. So the abstract data type name is array. So this is the description. Array, it is a set of pairs of values, index and the associated value. These are the typical functions the array has, where A is an array, I represents index, X is an item, that is the value at a particular index location in the array, J and size are integers. Okay, so a typical array may have a function called create, which is used to create an array. So this is create of j comma list. So this will create an j dimensional array with these values, with this list of values. So it will return an array. It will return an array, and the dimension is j with this list of values. Okay. So if j is 1, it will create a one-dimensional array. So one-dimensional array is something like this, which we have already discussed. So it has some set of values. So if it is a two-dimensional array, it is something like a matrix. It has set of rows and a set of columns. Okay. So here j represents the dimension. What is the dimension of the array? Okay. And a typical array ADT will have a function retrieve a comma I. It means that retrieve the value at ith index from the array A. Okay, retrieve the value at the ith index from the array A. If I is a valid index, suppose the array contains say so this array contains how many locations? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This array contains 6 locations starting from 0 to 5. So any value for index, any value for I between 0 to 5 is valid. But if I give 8, it is not valid because the array does not have that many locations. Okay. So if I is a valid index, then it will return the value associated with that index. Say here if I is 4, okay, and the value at the fourth location is 20, then it will return 20. Otherwise, if I is not an valid index, then it will return error. So this function will return an item that is associated with the particular index of the particular array. Then there is a function, and a typical array will have a function called store. Store a comma I comma x. It is in this particular array at index location I, store this value x. Again, you check if I is a valid index location, then it will return an array such a way that this new value x will be added in the location I. Otherwise, it will return error. So it will return an updated array which is updated with the value x at ith location. So maybe if there is any other functions that can be associated with an array, you can think of. But this is how we define an array ADT in the simplest way. Right? Fine. Okay. Now let us move to the next topic, which is quite important. That is creating a two-dimensional array using dynamic memory allocation. So there are different ways to create two-dimensional arrays in C, but here we will be discussing like how we can create a two-dimensional array using dynamic memory allocation and by using pointer to pointer. So as I have told already, a two-dimensional array is a collection of rows and columns. Okay, it's a collection of rows and columns. So it will have some set of rows, and each row will have some. So you can, if there are R number of rows and C number of columns, okay, then the array will be something like this. So the number of columns ranges from 0 to C minus 1. Okay. The number of rows ranges from 0 to R minus 1. Okay. So how can we create a two-dimensional array? So two-dimensional array in C is nothing but a collection of one-dimensional array. So for example, you can say that this is a two-dimensional array. This is a collection of R one-dimensional array. Okay. This is a collection of R one-dimensional array. This is one-dimensional array. This is another one-dimensional array. This is another one-dimensional array. Like that, there are R one-dimensional array. When you combine all these R one-dimensional array, it becomes a two-dimensional array. Fine. Now we are going to create two-dimensional arrays using pointer to pointer. First of all, what is pointer to pointer? So first, what is a pointer? So when you say that int star p, which means that whenever you say that int star p, which means that p is a pointer to integer. That is p can hold the address of an integer value. That is p can hold the address of an integer value. So this is p. Pointer also will have an address. Say this address is 6000. Okay, this address is 6000. Now if there is another variable a, if there is another variable a, and if a's address is 2000, then p can hold a's address. That is what this statement means. P is int star p means p is a pointer. That is, a pointer is something which holds the address of another variable of that particular type of the pointer. Okay, so if there is another statement here, int a is equal to 7, then if you say that p is equal to ampersand a, p is equal to ampersand a, okay, then it means that p can hold the address of a. What's the address of a? 2000. Address of a is 2000. It means that p is pointing to this location. Okay, so this is pointer, which you know already. Now what is pointer to pointer? Say for example, I am creating something like this, int star. If I create something like this, star, say a pt underscore p, which is pointer to pointer. Okay, star pt underscore p. So what does this mean? So what does this mean in the sense? So here there are two star we are using. We are using the indirection operator 2 times. So when you use indirection operator 2 times, then that variable is called as a pointer to pointer. So this is a pointer to pointer. So what does it mean? So what does it mean in the sense, pt underscore p can point to a pointer. pt underscore p can point to a pointer which is a pointer to an integer, right? pt underscore p can point to a pointer which is a pointer to an integer. Okay, see, if you want me to be more clear, if this star is not there, then what does it mean? It means if this outer star is not there, then what does it mean? It means that this is a pointer to an integer. It is as simple as that. Okay, now there is one more star. So when there is one more star, it means that this is a pointer. This is a pointer which can point to another pointer, and that pointer can point to an integer. So that is the meaning. Okay, so now already we have another pointer p. Okay, this p is a pointer which can point to an integer, but this pt underscore p is a pointer which can point to an integer pointer. Okay, that's the meaning. Int star pt underscore p means int star. Okay, so let me write it clearly. Int, or let me say int star yes. Int star yes means yes can point to an integer pointer. Yes can point to an integer pointer. Here p can point to an integer. That is, p can hold the address of an integer. Whereas yes can hold the address of an integer pointer. Okay, so yes can hold what? S cannot hold A's address, but S can hold the address of an integer pointer. That is, P is an integer pointer. S can hold P's address. So now you can write that S is equal to address of P. What is address of P? Address of P is nothing but 6000. Address of P is nothing but 6000. Okay. Where P is pointing? P is pointing to address of A. What is address of A? Address of A is nothing but 2000. Okay, say I'll write here again. P is equal to, this is 6000. P is equal to address of A. What is address of A? Address of A is 2000. Okay, address of A is 2000. Okay, fine, right? Now if I display P, now if I write a printf, now if I write a printf percentage P and comma P, what it will display? P contains what? P contains 2000, so it will just display 2000. Okay, if I display yes, what it will display? Printf percentage P comma yes, what it will display? It will display what S contains. What S contains? S contains address of P, that is 6000. So S is a, what is S? S is a pointer to a pointer. S is a pointer to an integer pointer. S also will have an address. Okay, so if you want, let us assume S address is 8000. Okay, but S is containing address of P. What is address of P? 6000, right? Okay, so this P will display 2000 because P contains 2000, and when you say yes, S will display 6000, that is S is pointing here. S is pointing to P, P is pointing to A. Is it clear? Okay. So now if I display printf percentage P star yes, what it will display? Star yes will display value at yes. What is yes? 6000. Okay, what is value at yes? Value at x is 2000. So when you say star yes, it will display 2000. Okay, but still 2000 is an address. Okay, it is not an integer. So that here I am using percentage P. Okay, right? If I give printf percentage D comma star P, what it will display? Star P is, what is P? P is 2000. Star P is value at 2000. What is the value at 2000? A contains 7. So value at 2000 is 7. So it will display 7. Right? Okay. If I display printf percentage D comma star yes, what it will display? Star yes. Okay, 2 times we are using star. So what is yes? Yes is 6000. Okay. So what is star yes? Star yes is value at 6000. What is value at 6000? 2000. Okay, value at 6000 is 2000. So again, on for this you are applying star. So star yes is what? 2000. So S is 6000. Okay, star S is value at 6000, that is 2000. Star S is 2000. So star of star S is value at 2000. Okay, that is value at 2000 is 7. So this also will display 7, right? Okay, so this is how pointer to pointer works. Okay, with this knowledge, let us try to understand how two-dimensional arrays using pointer to pointer works. Okay. Fine. So when you want to create a two-dimensional array using pointer to pointer, so you have to create a pointer to pointer variable. So here we are creating a pointer to pointer variable star m array, star m array. and rows represents the number of rows in the two-dimensional array, and columns represents the number of columns in the two-dimensional array. It should be initialized with some values, okay, maybe 2, 3, or whatever it may be. So here, as I already said, a two-dimensional array is nothing but a combination of one-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array is nothing but a combination of one-dimensional array. So if the size of the two-dimensional array is 3 into 5, then it means that there are 3 rows and 5 columns. Okay, so it means that it is nothing but a 3 one-dimensional array. Okay, so if the size of the two-dimensional array is 10 into 7, then it means that there are 10 rows and 7 columns. So it means that it is nothing but it is nothing but a 10 one-dimensional array, where the length of each one-dimensional array is 7. Here the length of each one-dimensional array is 5. Okay, so if you have an array of m cross n, then it is nothing but a m one-dimensional array, where the size of each one-dimensional array is n elements. Okay, so why I am telling is we need what you call, for every one-dimensional array we need a pointer. Okay, so two-dimensional array is nothing but a collection of one-dimensional array. In C, two-dimensional array is nothing but a collection of one-dimensional array. Okay, so for every one-dimensional array we need a pointer. Two-dimensional array is nothing but a collection of one-dimensional array. It's a set of one-dimensional array. Okay, collection of one-dimensional arrays. Okay, so if the array size is, if the array size is m into n, if the array size is m into n, okay, if the array size is m into n, then it means that there are m rows and n columns, which is nothing but it is m one-dimensional array, where each one-dimensional array contains n elements. So we need m pointers, 0 to m minus 1 pointers we need. Okay, all these are pointers. All these are pointers. Okay, so this, so 0, this is first pointer, this is second pointer. Okay, everything is a pointer. Like that, we need m minus 1 pointer, right? Where the first pointer will point to the first one-dimensional array, which contains n element, 0 to n minus 1. Okay, the second pointer will point to the second one-dimensional array, and the third pointer will point to the third one-dimensional array, and the fourth pointer will point to the fourth, so on and so forth. And the m minus 1th pointer will point to the n minus 1th one-dimensional array. Okay, so this is the logic we are going to have. Okay, so what is our first intention? So the first thing is we need to create this many pointers, m pointers we need to create first. Okay, so if the number of rows is m, then we need m pointers. So that is the number of pointers that you need, that depends on the number of rows. Okay, fine. So that is achieved by using this statement. That is achieved by using this statement. This statement will create m pointers. It will just create these pointers. Okay, I'll highlight that. So this statement, what it will do in the sense, it will just create this m pointers. Depending on the number of rows, that many pointers it will create. So what statement here we are using? malloc, memory alloc, rows. How many pointers we need? We need m pointers. M is nothing but number of rows. So here it is rows. Okay, here I have used m, or here also you can use m, then here I should use m. Okay, so malloc rows into size of int star. Why we are using size of int star? In the previous programs and all we have used size of int, because there we are allocating space for integers. But here we want what? We want m pointers. So this is a pointer. Okay, this is a pointer, that is it should hold an address. This is a pointer. So this is a pointer. So all these are pointers. So each of this is a pointer. Okay, so the size of the pointer and the size of integers were not same. Okay, so size of integer pointer. Okay, so this should be a pointer which can hold the integer value. Okay, so size of integer pointer is 8 bytes. Size of integer pointer is 8 bytes. Okay, number of rows, say for a simplicity, number of rows is 3. If number of rows is 3, then it will create how much bytes of memory? 3 into 8, that is 24 bytes of memory. Okay, 3 into 8 is 24 bytes of memory will be created. Okay, 24 bytes of memory will be created, but each is a different 8 chunk. Okay, this is a this is 8 bytes, this is another 8 bytes. Okay, this is another 8 bytes. Okay, you can represent it in or let me put it in column wise so that it is convenient for understanding. Okay, so so 24 bytes of memory is created uh, because we assumed rows as 3. So this is one set of 8 bytes, this is another set of 8 bytes. So each is an 8 byte, this is 8 byte, this is 8 byte, and this is 8 byte. Okay, like that 24 totally 24 bytes are created. Okay. So this much memory is created, and this is what these are pointers. Okay, so these are pointers to integers. Okay, these are not normal integer values. Okay, so here you should typecast into int star star. Okay, int star means what? Those are, when you typecast to int star, it means those are locations which will be holding integer value, and that will be pointed by some pointer. Okay, but here that is not the case. These are what? These are pointers. These are pointers to some integer value. So you have to give int star star here, right? Okay, so this will create this much. So now we created 3 pointers because here we are assuming rows as 3. So let us assume rows as 3 and columns as 5. Okay, so 3 pointers were created. Fine. Now for each of the pointer you should create an array, and that memory should be allocated. And that memory should be allocated. Okay. For that, what you should do is, okay, for that what you should do here another important catch is here. uh, Please follow me clearly. One another thing you should understand, say we should know the address of these locations also. Okay, say 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 this locations, say this is the starting one, say this location is 2000. Okay, this is 2000. If this is 2000, each are 8 bytes, then this will occupy 2000 to 2007. Then the second location starting address will be 2008. Okay, so this will from what? 8 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so this third will be from 2016. Okay, right? So this is the address of these pointers. There are 3 pointers. The address of the first pointer is 2000. The address of the starting address of the second pointer is 2008. The starting address of the third pointer is 2006. Because each of these are integer pointer and each integer pointer occupies 8 bytes. Okay, fine. Now each of these pointer should point to uh, this much locations. That is 5 locations where each location can hold an integer value. So that memory you should allocate. Okay, for that, how we allocated memory for one dimensional array, you just recall that logic. So it is if you want to allocate one dimension, if you want to allocate n locations for an one dimensional array, then this is the statement we used: int star malloc n into size of int. Okay, here each of these rows should point to this many locations. So instead of n, here we are using calls. Okay, each row contains this many columns. How many columns? N columns. Okay, so instead of here I used n, but here I used columns. Okay, so int star malloc malloc of calls into size of int. Okay, if calls is 5, if the columns value is 5, size of int is we know 4, then it will allocate 20 bytes. Okay, then it will allocate 20 bytes. And that what, so this, so let us see just the right hand side, left hand side will come back. So it will allocate 20 bytes. Okay, say some 20 bytes is allocated. Okay, say the starting address is 1000. Say the starting address is 1000. 1000 to 1019 is allocated. Okay, 1000 to 1019 is allocated. That is totally 5 values. First value will be from 1000 to 1004, 1003, 1000 to 1000, 1000, 1001, 2 and 3. Okay, second value will be 1000, 1004 to 1007. Okay, third value will be from 1008 to 1011. Okay, and the fourth value will be from 1012 to 1015. Okay, and the fifth value will be from 1016 to 1019. Okay, so like this we allocated this array. Okay, this one dimensional array, but the starting address you have to store here. Okay, still the starting address is not stored. Starting address should be stored, yeah, it should be stored here. Okay, it should be stored here. Okay, so how will you do that? So how will you know, how will you get this starting address? What is this starting address? This I mean, in this location, in the location 2000, this should be stored. Okay, so how can we store? So for that, what we are doing is we are using this statement. Okay, in this location you should store. Okay, so you cannot use just m array plus I. Okay, so this we are writing a for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than rows, I plus plus. So m array plus I. Okay, m array is what? 2000, because its starting address is 2000, and here it will increment by 8, because here the scale factor is 8, because the size of integer pointer is 8, so the scale factor is 8. Okay, so starting address is 2000, I is 0, so it is 2000. But you cannot, in the left hand side you cannot just write m array plus I, because in this location you want to store, right? So you have to add a star also. So the value at this location will be what? This address. Value at this location will be this address. So what address? 1000. 1000. Okay, like that, like that for the second array. Okay, say for the second array, uh, for the second array, say like this, the starting address is from 2000 to 2000, uh, the second one dimensional array, say it is from 2000 to 2019. Okay, then in the second iteration it will be m array plus I. What is m array? 2000. 2000 plus I, what is I? I is 1. So 2000, what is scale factor? Scale factor is 8. So 2000 plus 1 into 8, so 2000 plus 1 into 8 is 2008. Okay, so that is also value at that location that you want to store. Okay, so 2000, so there this address will be stored 2000. Okay, similarly, for the third one dimensional array, if it is starting at 3000 to 3000, so this cannot be 2000, because already this is itself is 2000. So let us assume this is 3000 to 3019. So that will come here. Okay, and the third one dimensional array, if it is 4000 to 4019, it is 4000 to 4019. Okay, then that starting address will come here. Okay, fine. So this allocated this particular uh, one dimension. First, this has created for each row, it has created one pointer. Okay, and each of this pointer has now pointing to a one dimensional array. Okay, so this is pointing to this one dimensional array, and this is pointing to this one dimensional array, and this is pointing to this one dimensional array. Okay, so with this now we got a two dimensional array. Now how can we read values for this two dimensional array? Okay, how can we read the values for this two dimensional array? So for this we can use a loop something like this. For I is equal to 0, I less than rows, I plus plus. For j is equal to 0, j less than columns, j plus plus. Okay. So if I want to read value using scanf, then it will be something like this. Please listen. Scanf percentage d, because finally the values are integer. Okay, percentage d. We for scanf always we need address, but how we are fetching the address, you see, it is little tricky. M array plus I. Okay, so first is this value we want, first row values. Okay, so what is M array? M array is what is M array? M array is 2000. I is initially 0, so M array plus 2000 is what? So sorry, M array is 2000, I is 0, 2000 plus 0 is 2000. So here we are adding a star. Why we are adding star here? Because this is address of this row pointer. This 2000 is address of this row pointer. We don't want this address. We want the value inside that, because that value inside is nothing but an address of the first one dimensional array. So when you give that star, you will get this 1000. Okay, when you give that star, you get the 1000. Okay, so again j is 0. J is 0 because first location will be that same 1000 location, right? Before that we are not adding star because now we want address, because for scanf. Okay, so whatever the first input, it will go here. Say the first input is 2. Next, in the next iteration, columns will, I will be 0 because it will I will, this loop columns loop will repeat for row times, that is the columns loop will repeat for 3 times. Okay, sorry, the outer loop will repeat for 3 times and the inner loop will repeat for 5 times. Okay, for the each iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop should repeat for 3 times. So now only one iteration completed. In the second iteration, columns will become 1. Okay, now uh, uh, sorry, only columns becomes 1, not that is only j becomes 1, not I. Okay, so, so what I'm saying is, only I is still 0, but j becomes 1 in the next iteration, because for each iteration of I, this should repeat for 5 times. This is j. Okay, j less than columns, and this is also j. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so what is again M array plus 0? M array is this address. Okay, 2000 plus 0 is 2000. Value at 2000 is 1000. Okay, now what is 1000 plus 1? Okay, this 1000 is an address of integer array. Scale factor of integer is 4. So it is 1000 plus 1 into 4. So it is 1000 plus 1 into 4. What is 1000 plus 1 into 4? 1000 plus 1 into 4 is 1004. Okay, 1000 plus, so we got this address. So the next value will come here. If it is 4, it will come here. Are you getting? So like that, this entire array will be stored. When it comes for the next iteration, say for the, I mean for I value 1, what will happen? If I, for this is for I 0, when I is 1, what will happen? M array plus 1. What is M array? 2000. What is 2000 plus 1? Here 2000 is the address of pointer to pointer. So 2000 plus 1 is, its scale factor is 8. So 1 into 8. So that is 2008. And what is value at 2008? 3000. Okay, and j value will be 0 in the first round. So whatever the first input will go here, right? Second input will go to 3000 plus 1. 3000 plus 1 is nothing but it is an integer array. So 1 into 4, 3004. Like that the values will be stored, right? And this is to print the sorry, and this is to print the array contents. It's very similar to this. In here also, beginning also you should add a star, right? So this is how we access a two-dimensional array. We create and access a two-dimensional array using pointer to pointer using dynamic memory allocation. So here is a complete program, but say for example here I don't want to use a scanf. I want to directly store values. Then how should I do? Say I'm declaring a variable here, count cnt, okay, equal to 0. I don't want to use scanf, I want to directly store the values. Then instead of using this kind of statement, I should use something like this. That is, then I don't want address, I want the value. So I should use star, again star, okay, again star, m-array, m-array plus I plus I plus j plus j equal to plus plus count or count plus plus. Okay, so this will keep storing values at that location. Okay, so here why we are using two stars, because in scanf we need address, but when you want to store a value, you want that value to go into that location. Okay, so so if you consider that previous case, the 3 pointers, which is for each representing one row. Okay, so so first pointer is 2000, second is 2008 starting address. Okay, third is 2015 or 16, 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 2016. Okay, 2016. Okay, now this is what, this may be pointing to some locations starting from 1000 to 1019. Okay, this is what we have discussed. Here we are going two stars. Why? Because m array is what, 2000. M array plus I, in the first iteration I is 0, so that is 2000. Okay, what is value at 2000? 1000. Value at 2000 is 1000 plus j, in the first iteration j is also 0. So so 1000 plus 0 is 1000. Okay, but 1000, so this will give 1000 plus 0, which is 1000. Okay, but here we are using another star, because in this location we want this location. Okay, not address. In this location this value should go, so this star is required. Okay, so when you want to store some locations, some value directly to some locations, you have to use this pointer carefully. Okay, but when you want to read the input, at that time we need address, so this outer star is not required. Okay, right. So this program, what it does in the sense, it's quite very similar, no much difference. So we are creating an array with pointer to pointer. Row is 3, column is 5, I j count is initialized to 0. So so this is the one which creates a pointer for each row. Okay, and here uh, for each of the pointer, for each of the pointer for each of the pointer to the respective row, we are creating memory for the one dimensional array. Okay, and now each of the locations of the two dimensional array is filled with some values. We are not taking scanf, rather we are using this constructor star, the star arr plus I plus j is equal to that particular value. Okay, and using another for loop we are displaying the output. So I want the output to be in matrix format, so I'm following this structure. I think you are familiar with this. So so in the inner loop, uh, uh, the all the values corresponding to one particular row will display. Okay, separated by a space. Once the inner loop is over, then we are giving a backslash n, so the control will come to the next line. So again the loop, again the outer loop will increment, again the inner loop will execute for column times. Again the values corresponding to the second row will come in the next line. Okay, return 0. Right, let us see the code here. Yes, so this is the same code whatever I have presented there. So it's uh, this is an pointer to pointer. Here we are allocating memory for the row pointers. Okay, and here we are allocating memory for each of these row pointers. That is, each of the row pointers points to an one dimensional array, and and the entire two dimensional array is filled with these values, and we are displaying the values using the another for loop. Okay, and finally we are free in the pointer. Okay, so let me execute. Control O, save, Control X. So G. So the array contains the values just like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so it's a pre-increment. So so initially it is stored with 0. The count is initially stored with 0. Then before assigning we are incrementing. So it starts with 1, right? Okay, I guess you understood, and you have to practice these programs to be familiar. Fine, let us stop here. Thank you.